Everybody, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're doing really well. Everybody is feeling okay and still surviving through lockdown. Still here. So if you know me, you'll know I'm absolutely obsessed with like the 60s, 70s, 80s. It's just like the best time for music, hair, makeup, everything was just like perfect. We've been on lockdown, we've actually discovered the 70s music channel. And yeah, we've literally been watching 70s music videos all day. Honestly, cannot recommend it enough. It is like the best thing in the world. I watched them the other day. I was just thinking like the makeup is just so great. It's so like effortless and beautiful. I thought today I would just sit down and do like a proper 70s disco makeup look. I've obviously already done my hair. Now my hair's this length, I can actually like flick it really well. It's so cute. You just feel really like. The makeup that I love the most in the 70s is like the blue shimmery, just blown out eyeshadow, really glossy, freckly, natural skin and like glossy lip. That is just like the best, and Cher did it better than anybody, so I've got a few pictures of her that I'm kind of going to base it off. Just going to go for it, got a massive spot. All is well. So I'm just going to zoom you in a bit so you can see my spot. So first thing I'm going to do to my skin, I'm going to prime it with the Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Primer. Pretty much all the makeup looks that I looked at anyway, in the 70s, it was very glowy skin. I just think like a heavy eyeshadow look with like a natural skin is just one of the greatest looks ever. Spot is actually colossal. I just love like the no makeup skin, which was like massive in the 70s. Pretty much all the pictures that I've seen are like a heavier eye, and obviously a lot of colours, a lot of colour eyeshadow, which I think is really cool. Keep the skin like pretty natural, glowy, but this is kind of, well actually this is what I've been doing recently anyway. I haven't really been wearing a lot of skin makeup. Foundation, I spoke about this in my last makeup video. This is the Lottie London Velvet Skin Tint. I've got the colour medium NO25. This just really is my favourite foundation, I think, probably ever. I'm just putting a really thin layer all over, because I still kind of want it to look like skin. I still want my little freckles to come through a bit. Coverage of this foundation is so nice and you can like really build it up. But yeah, I think I'm just going to do like one pretty thin layer just to get like an even kind of tone, but so it still looks like skin. With this foundation is you literally can't feel it on your skin. Like I think you can always feel when you have makeup on, not in like a bad way, but you just can feel it. But with this foundation, it literally doesn't feel like you have anything on. So now for concealer, I'm obviously just going to put a bit on my huge spot and a little bit underneath my eyes, but I'm going to keep that quite light as well. So this is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Concealer. I've spoken about this quite a lot. This is like just the best concealer ever. So I've got the colour 210. It's just a little bit lighter than my foundation colour. Just going to use a sponge and pat that in. I don't actually set my makeup anymore anyway, but all the pictures that I've looked at, the skin is really glowy, so I wouldn't set it if you can avoid it. I would say my favourite bit of the 70s makeup by far is like the cheeks. There was so much blush, so much bronzer, it's just like an actual dream. I start off with the Sosu Contour Stick in Warm. Obviously I use this all the time. Lightly contour with this, just to kind of add a little bit of definition. For bronzer, I'm going to use like a shimmery bronze, and the Milani Baked Bronzer. This is in the shade 05, so it's just like a beautiful shimmery bronze. I'm going to kind of dust that over, make it up quite high, kind of like to the side of my eyebrow, because in all the pictures the bronzer seemed to kind of be like really high and then came down quite far. There wasn't really much kind of contouring or like chiselling out. It was more just like a wash of bronze and blush, which I love. Not for everyone, but personally I do think this is like a little bit more flattering than like the full contour look. Never really been that into like contouring as such. I do prefer just like a flush of colour. I think it's just way more flattering. So for blush, I'm going to use the Morphe blush palette. This is my favourite. I use this every day. And I'm going to take a mixture of this pinky one and then a little bit of this peachy one here. And again, it wasn't really like focused blush. It was more kind of, again, sort of all up here. I just loved the skin so much. I think it was way more about like looking healthy and having like healthy looking skin rather than looking perfect. The makeup that we see now is obviously beautiful, but it's just way more like polished. And personally, I just prefer the like kind of effortless undone sort of makeup look. But that's just me. So going on to brows, luckily for me, there was like a lot of fluffy undone brows going on at that point. So yeah, I'm literally just going to brush through them. Brush is disgusting, it's got like so much soap stuck on it, but can't be asked to find a new one. Take the Oath shade from the Urban Bible palette. This is what I always use on my eyebrows, and I'm literally just going to fill in the ends a little bit. Just filling in the areas that are a little bit more sparse, but I still create kind of like hair strokes with the brush rather than filling it in like a block. Now just to finish off the skin, I'm just going to use my little freck and I'm going to just put my freckles in. As I said, like the natural freckly skin was really in, so I'm going to do quite a lot of freckles. And I just do this like really randomly, I just kind of pop them all on and then just zoom in a bit for you. I always get quite a lot of people asking me about freck and whether I think it's worth it, and like 100% I do. Because if you, I don't know how well you can see that, but that literally just looks like really natural freckles. It honestly is like one of the best products I've ever bought. I used to use eyeshadow to do my freckles and that does work, but this just looks so much more natural. There you go. So you can see up close, it looks so natural. So yeah, definitely recommend that. So now we're going to go on to the fun bit. I feel like this makeup was done not messily, but without, you know, I doubt they had all these brushes, primers, all this. So I'm going to do the same, partly because I can't be asked. But so for the like main colour, most of the pictures that I've looked at that I like the most are like it's kind of like a grey, bluey, silver shimmer kind of thing. Works really nice with like a bronzy skin because the contrast of the tones is so nice. This is the Revolution Jack palette. So this is obviously by Makeup by Jack, who I absolutely love. He's the sweetest boy in the whole world. The best palette ever. So if you don't have this, you should. So down here you've got this perfect grey kind of colour, and then there's like a slightly lighter icy blue one. So I'm going to stick with those two colours and just kind of going to go for it really. Take a small flat brush. This is a Unicorn Cosmetics one. Start patting it on my eyelid. Honestly, like the metallic colours in this palette are so amazing. So then I'm just going to kind of pat it up above the crease as well. I'm going to use a little bit less pressure just so it kind of feathers it out a bit. All kind of shape that was followed with the eyeshadow is kind of like round, still kind of pulling it down a little bit. Obviously similar to the 60s, there was a lot of the kind of downward curve. Take a clean fluffy unicorn brush again, and I'm going to take a little bit of that colour and just buff out around the edges. And I'm going to go pretty high with it. I just love like the idea of using one colour and just blowing it up like right into your eyebrow. I think it just always looks so cool. And it's such an easy way of doing like an interesting look if you aren't particularly confident with eyeshadow. Work in makeup, I used to just do like a smoky eye every day, and it would always just be like one brown just blown out. It's just so quick and easy to do, and it just looks so good. And then obviously if you swap in a colour like this, so simple but effective. I do always wonder, like when I'm listening to old music, if like our kids will be like listening to like, I don't know, J Hus or something and being like, oh my god, don't make them like this anymore. So I'm kind of pushing up like right into the brow, mainly at the front, and then I'm leaving like a little bit of space underneath it at the end. Okay, so then down towards the lash line, I'm going to press in the deep navy colour here. I'm going to press that along the lash line just to add a little bit of definition. I do also think the blown out like one colour look is really flattering for all eye shapes, because obviously you can kind of adapt it to what works best for the shape of your eye. Normally I tend to kind of wing eyeshadow out a little bit because my eyes are a bit rounder and I wish they were a bit more. Out of all of these pictures, there wasn't often any colour on the bottom lash line. They tend to literally just leave it like this and just put massive eyelashes on. So I'm down for that. For lashes today, these are the OPV lashes in style Boss Lady. These are just like the perfect lashes for this look. I'm going to put my lashes on now and then I'm going to go on to the bottom lashes. So then I'm going to go on to my bottom lashes. So I'm just going to put mascara on them and then I'm going to kind of clump them together rather than putting bottom lashes on because they just make my eyes water too much. Just going to take some tweezers and I'm going to... Ow. So funny, this is what I used to do to my top and bottom lashes in like year 9, so it's fun. So then when you see up close you can see they're kind of all clumped together. Take a little bit of highlighter, so this is the Melt Cosmetics Gold Ore Highlight. This is just the most beautiful thing in the whole world. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, but that is just absolutely in love with that. So only a little bit of that on the inner corner of my eye. And then just to add a little bit more to the eye, I'm from Kimchi Beauty, which obviously I spoke about the palette in my last makeup video and everyone loved that. It is honestly just the best palette in the whole world. I'm just obsessed with all of the Kimchi makeup. I think it's just like really, really cleverly done and the packaging and everything is just beautiful. So these are the Halo graphic toppers. So it says for eyes, cheeks, lips, body. They're all vegan, cruelty free. I'm going to open it up, but I have broken it. And sadly, didn't make it. But I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to use it with my finger because I think products like this tend to work a little bit better. But I'm just going to mind my eyelashes. And I'm just going to kind of pat that over. Oh yes, that is it. Just to give it that real kind of disco John Travolta, please go out with me, look. These are obviously really holographic, so they kind of just pick up the light really nicely. I'm going to go for like a glossy peachy nude today. All the glosses that I saw were like really peachy nude, which is just like the best, and it looks really nice with blue eyeshadow as well. I went through all my glosses this morning and I found like the perfect one. So this is the Kimchi High Key Gloss. Packaging is so sweet. And this is the colour 06 Natural. You can see it's just like a really nice peachy nudie gloss. These aren't too sticky either, they're more of like a pigment gloss rather than like a sticky one. To line my lips with MAC Strip Down. Really much like overlining of lips in any of the pictures, but they definitely did kind of define like the cupid's bow a little bit, so I'm going to kind of go a little bit higher on that. So come a little bit closer, you can see I've kind of just cupid's bow a little bit more defined. Gloss over the top. Just going to finish off by setting my face. I'm going to use the iconic Set Prep Glow, whatever it's called, Prep Set Glow, I don't know. You're just going to keep your makeup in place and also give it a really nice dewy finish. So that is the finished look. Be good if I could leave the house. So that is the finished look for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. So much for watching this video and thank you for being here. Hope you all stay safe indoors and look after yourselves, and I'll be back very soon. Love you.